Okay, so I just did a video recently on the Sega Genesis Mini versus the Sega Genesis Flashback. And there were a couple people that said, well, to really do a good comparison, you should at least get the 2018 version. So I thought, hey, that's actually a pretty good idea. Why don't I get the 2018 version, come back and do another comparison. So let's go ahead and get started by comparing the Sega Genesis Flashback 2017 version to the 2018 version. At first glance, you probably couldn't tell the difference in the 2017 version versus the 2018. But here's a few things to look for if you're going by just the box. One, the 2018 version is a little bit lighter blue, which you're probably not going to be able to tell unless you have both of these next to each other. Really, the only difference on the front, notice where it says save and resume games is on 2 lines. On the 2017 version, it says save, resume, and rewind games. On the side, you'll notice it starts out with the same information, but then as you move down, the 2018 version has 2 controllers, the 2017 version has 1 controller. The reason they show only 1 on 2017 version is because both controllers are basically the same. On the 2018 version, 1 controller is specifically for player 1, the other one is specifically for player 2. Another difference on the top, you can see 2018 version has the logo and website, and then it also has Add Games Flashback Zone, where the 2017 version just says Add Games. On the left hand side is pretty much the same information. One difference you'll notice is where they have the recycling information, it's up higher on the 2018 version, more towards the middle on the 2017 version. And here you can see it does say up to 2018 on the newer version, where it says up to 2017 on the 2017 version. And then everything is pretty much identical on the back side. So you can see here the player 1 controller is identical to the 2017 version. But now the player 2 version just has a start button. Because let's face it, we don't want to give those controls to player 2. Now another thing you'll notice is the power adapter is very similar except now it's a micro USB charger versus the older 2017 version. One thing you'll notice is the 2018 version, it's a little bit wider or deeper than the 2017 version. And they added the little volume slider to make it look more like the original. Definitely a lot closer to the Sega Genesis Mini. Same thing right here where it says power on, where before it was just blank. And you'll notice on the 2018 version, they moved the Sega Genesis logo down here where it should be. And then they made the Add Games logo a little more subtle down here in the corner, which again makes it look closer to the original Sega Genesis. Then they also moved the controller ports a little bit further to the right. And instead of putting player 1 and player 2, it says control 1, control 2. And then on the back side, it's just slightly different. Again, you've got the micro USB charging port next to the HDMI. But you can see instead of being flush with the back, they've got it set in just a little bit. And then same thing on the bottom, you can see on the right hand side, you've got the 2018 version with the Sega Genesis logo to the left, Sega Genesis Flashback to the right, instead of being stacked like on the 2017 version. Another minor difference that you'll probably notice is you no longer have the 2 screws right in the middle like on the 2017 version. Another thing is the 2018 version seems to be a little bit smoother plastic, where the 2017 version has a little bit rougher texture. Now the good thing is they did keep the opening for the cartridges. You'll also notice where it says on and off and menu is in white now, where on the 2017 version it was just black and sort of blended in a little bit more, and the menu button had rounded corners, where on the 2018 version it's definitely more of a rectangle. And one big advantage of the 2018 version is that it takes an SD card here on the side, so you can definitely add a lot more games than what came with the system. Okay, so I think we pretty much covered all the differences and how they look. So yeah, the 2018 version still dwarfs the Sega Genesis Mini that was just released. But man, they were a lot closer with this version than the 2017. So I've been testing out the 2018 version here recently, and it's a lot better than the 2017 version, especially when it comes to navigating through the games. It also plays cartridges better, and with the SD card, it makes it pretty much no competition when compared to the 1 year older version. Now here's my 5 reasons why I would choose the Sega Genesis Flashback 2018 over the new Sega Genesis Mini. The biggest reason by far, and most obvious reason, is the SD card. It allows you to add as many games as you like. I mean, I've got over 1,000 games, so that should keep me busy for at least a day or two. It plays original Sega Genesis cartridges. I mean, it actually plays them better than the 2017 version. But like I said, with the SD card, I have over 1,000 games now, so I may not need that. Not sure yet. You can pause and rewind the cartridges just like the included games, and you even have save slots for them. Try doing that on your original Sega Genesis. You can also use original Sega Genesis controllers if you don't like the included wireless controllers. I even bought the 8BitDo wireless controllers for the original Sega Genesis just to see if they would work, but I haven't had much luck yet. I'm gonna have to try a couple more things before I give up on that one. And my last reason why I would choose the Sega Genesis Flashback 2018 over the new Sega Genesis Mini. It's cheaper than the new Sega Genesis Mini, at usually around 60 bucks instead of 80. That is, if you can find them. I bought mine used on eBay, so I'm sure you can find some more if you do some searching. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.